welcome back to Trust the Work News, sports commentary from an experienced connoisseur of sports. I am awake, athletic wisdom, and IQ, and I'm always excited to talk sports with you, the always incredible and always undefeated sports fan. And today we still talking NBA. Shout out to the Thunder, still first place in the West. You know what I'm talking about? And shout out to my Philadelphia Eagles right here, winning their wild card game. Still on the road to a Super Bowl. Shout out to Nick Sirianni. Shout out to Saquon. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. And I can't wait to do my NFL videos because, man, I just can't wait. But anyway, not going to get into that. Still on this NBA overview, looking at the strong teams on the strong side of the NBA overview. You know what I'm saying? Teams that I feel like probably should be in the position that they're at, and some that should be in a very strong position but aren't functioning the way they probably want to be right now. And let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. Yes, the reigning NBA champion Boston Celtics, coached by Joe Mazzulla, sitting at 27-11 right now, 5-5 in their last 10 games. Not the greatest, but these guys are the reigning champs. They got the talent, roster top to bottom, for the most part. Not really been bitten by the injury bug yet. You know what I'm saying? They got Jordan Walsh out right now. He's out with an illness. Drew Peterson is out. They've been very healthy so far, even though Kristaps Porzingis has only played in 14 games. We want to see them be healthy. We want to see them be able to get a good shot at defending that title. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum looks real confident right now, as does Jaylen Brown. We'll get into them. I had to give props to Drew Holiday and Derek White. I see their offense. People criticize them a lot about this three-point shooting thing, this 53s thing. I had a little bit of different outlook on it. It's not my favorite offense in the world, but when you got 4 ball handlers on the court at all times, in this day and age, the way these guys play, it makes you real dangerous. He goes for the wing. A lot of times you can go from top down, straight up top of the key. But you got guys who can space the floor like this. Those threes are good threes. If you got this type of personnel, those threes are all good shots. Every time I see them shoot it, almost, they don't ever hardly take any contested threes. Jason Tatum take a few like that one. He can hit certain shots. Jaylen Brown takes shots. He can hit certain shots. These guys work on these shots, but for the most part, the threes they take are in good ball movement. And if you got 4 ball handlers on the court, 1, 2, 3. This is one time when they don't. They only got 3. But most of the time they got 4. And it's hard to stop that. It's hard to stop that. You got Luke Cornett. He up there at the top of the key right now. It's like they're all dangerous. All 5 of these guys right here on the court right now are dangerous from the 3-ball. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of a guy who doesn't shoot threes, Nemias Queta will be a large piece for them going forward. You know what I'm saying? He's 7 foot, 248 out of Utah State, athletic, and he got real nice touch around the basket. He reminds me a lot of Robert Williams. You know what I'm saying? He was. I thought Robert Williams was going to be the perfect, go-to for them, but they parted ways with him. But this guy reminds me a lot of him, and he's a little bit bigger. So they'll have a big guy who can play big. You know, Al Horford doesn't play inside as much anymore, even though he does get boards. He'll be very important. Jason Tatum looking like an MVP. Leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and is above his career average in 4 stats. Jaylen Brown is second in 3 of those categories. Jason Tatum, again, shooting 46% from the field, 28.1 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.3 steals, 0.5 blocks, and a little under 3 turnovers a game. Can't ask for much more. We're going to look at some better stat lines than that even for these MVP candidates, but he's definitely playing well. Jaylen Brown also shooting 46% from the field, more than his career average in free throws, rebounds, assists, steals, and points. He's averaging 23.9 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 0.3 blocks, 1.3 steals, and a little under 3 turnovers per game. That's a heck of a 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying? Only 1-2 punch I think is better than them is Giannis and Dame, because when their numbers are a little, you know, the numbers are a little bit better than this. Not much at all, but it's heavy. And you look at the skill sets, you know, they have the different dynamic with the inside and the outside. But Jaylen Brown's playing with a chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? He's very confident. Ain't gonna be no more of that talk about he don't have no left hand. You know what I'm saying? This guy is very, very solid. And he's proven every bit of that with this season. You know. Porzingis again only played in 14 games, but they are relatively healthy and shooting 36.6% from the 3-point line as a team. If you're gonna shoot 53s, this would be the guys you probably want to do it with. You know, they're 6th in points, which kind of baffles me with that strategy. But 12th in rebounds, but they average at 43 a game, and they're 2nd in turnovers per game. Most important stat in the world, of course, you know, in the NBA, especially when it comes to playoff time, because we can't have you turn the ball over. The closer you are to 10 turnovers, the better. 13 at the high end a game. If you more than 13 a game, you're probably not going to win. If you have more than 13 turnovers in a game, you're probably not going to win. I don't feel like the Celtics are alone out here running away with this thing, because the Cavs match up well, and they are number 1 in the East, the Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? I just did a whole video talking about well, it wasn't about the Cavs, but I just did a video with the Cavs, told everybody, you know, Cavs are for real. They're not gonna blink if they get in one of these situations where they gotta play a tough team. They're a tough team. So you're gonna have to watch out for them. 7-footers on Boston. A lot of them are slow. Kata's the one guy who's got a little bit of athleticism. You know, I hope that that doesn't hurt, because they are gonna have to play a little bit bigger and not gonna just be able to throw out one big guy. I think throughout these playoffs, you got a couple of teams who got multiple big guys. The one I'd be worried about is Cleveland, but you may see some teams, even Orlando, maybe go out there and throw 2 bigs at you. You know what I'm saying? Before you even get to the West and have to deal with the couple of big tandems that they got over there in the NBA Finals. So, you know, it's gonna be a thing. Magic also match up well with them. Uh, Derek White leads the team in blocks. They don't really have a solid big. But I'm not going to take nothing away from Derek White because he's an outstanding defensive player. Outstanding defensive player. But I do see them dropping anywhere down to the 5 spot. You know what I'm saying? Once the season starts to wear on, I feel like they might drop as low as number 5. And they could end up playing the Magic. They could end up playing a couple different ways this could go. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they mostly what the injuries are gonna say. What is time under tension gonna say to a team that's to a team that went on a long playoff run last year. Let's see if that carries over. You know what I'm saying, at all into the next. Moving on. Of course, I'm excited to talk about my team, Oklahoma City Thunder. You know what I'm saying? Proud of these guys. 31-6. Mark Daigneault, head coach. Cleveland, we not scared of y'all. We ain't blinking either. We 9-1 in our last 10. We ain't worried about it. Cleveland took this game. They played a heck of a game. And I said that in the other video that they bottled up Shea pretty good. Even though Shea did his thing, Shea didn't get shut down or nothing, but they put very solid defense on and made it work the whole game. They did a lot of the stuff that we do to other people. They wore us down. And they made it difficult for us to make every shot that we took. They put pressure on the ball like they're doing right there. Force guys to take tough shots like that. Aaron Wiggins is very solid this year. Very proud of that guy. Worked really hard to stay and improve. Last year he didn't perform, I'm sure, in the playoffs like he thought he should have. So I know he's working real hard, trying to stay a big part of that team. Hartenstein, can't say enough about the addition. Oh my gosh, I knew what he was going to be when he got here, when they decided they was going to get him. Definitely solid. But with that in mind, let's look at the injury report real quick. AJ Mitchell is having surgery on his toe. He's another guy who they brought in, young guy, just playing with his hair on fire every time he gets a chance to get on the court. Hope he gets better soon. Alex Caruso brought him in. He's played well. He hurt himself about midway through this, about 15 games in. He's got a hip injury as well as Chet with the hip injury. And when both of these guys get on the court at the same time, Hartenstein and Holmgren, it's going to be an issue. And even more so, being able to split time with these guys, we're going to be very, very, very strong being able to do that. So I'm just glad about the continuity, the team chemistry. The defense looks great. They always look like they're giving it the 110% effort on defense on every play. Guys like Case and Wallace, Shea is of course the MVP in my book, close to it. 52% field goal percentage, just shooting 52% from the field, averaging 31.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5.6 rebounds, 6.1 assists, 2 steals, 1.2 blocks, and he's doing that on a little less than 3 turnovers a game. So He's gonna be probably in the top four, excuse me, top two. He will be in the top two. He will probably be second. I hope he gets one this year. I wish he had won it last year. Outstanding job. Leads the team in 4 stats: points, assists, steals, and blocks. You know, definite MVP candidate. I don't know where he finishes. I feel like last year he had a better chance to win it. But it's a long season. Still got a lot of games left. If he starts doing outrageous things, it's not going to matter. Jalen Williams, definitely looking like an all-star. Leads the team in rebounds, 5.8. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he's been here in another life. You can't ask for the type of consistency. You can't ask for more. 20.7 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.8 steals, 0.7 blocks, and doing that on less than 2.5 turnovers a game. This guy's not playing like a young guy. He's playing like, I have to be here for Shea. And I know Shea appreciates that. He is very, very, very good. Underrated. Still. Even if people know about him, he's underrated. Because he can hit every shot in the book. He hits tough shots. Going to the bucket, he hits threes. He hits mid-range. He goes off glass. I'm like, who is this guy? You think he's Scottie Pippen? He's shooting off the glass. It's like, this the guy's good, and it's scary. You know what I'm saying? They wear you down. Lou Dort is a big reason why. You know what I'm saying? He might not ever be Defensive Player of the Year, but the things that he do not show up in the stat sheet. They do not show up in the stat sheet. But when he changes shots, like he's a rim protector. When that's a tough shot. He doesn't hit those all the time, but hey, we'll take that. If you got a guy who can just make your best player change his shot with on-ball defense, huge screen right there. Goodness gracious, he just pops up after that. But yeah, you can't say enough about that. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't find that in stats. And all defense is coming for Lou Dort. All defensive team is definitely coming. 40% from the three-point line, 81% from the free throw line, 9.8 points a game. Lou Dort, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. As a Thunder fan, thank you. Because that guy, when you talk about solid, you need guys like that on your team. Oh, he only scores 10 points a game. Who cares? He's going to guard your best player, and he's going to give you buckets. He's going to give you on-ball pressure. He's going to give you ball handling. He's going to give you so much without asking for a whole lot. Hartenstein just helps us wear down people even more because he's 7 feet. We never really had a big guy. We never had a 7-footer, and for him to be as active as he is on the inside, he's a problem. He's a problem. He's always trying to get the rebound. He's always trying to, facilitate the offense. He gets in the middle and he makes tough passes. It's a great thing to have him on the team, especially when Shea is as consistent as he is. So, Clippers, Rockets, Grizzlies, maybe even the Timberwolves match up with us pretty good. But I've seen us beat all of these teams. So I feel like when we're healthy, we can beat all of these teams. Interested to see how far we make it in the playoffs. Definitely feel like if we don't make it to the finals, at least the Western Conference Finals, this is a letdown. Um, we were a series away, 2 games away last year. So I feel like that's where we're looking at. I'm sure some of these guys are gonna say they want to win a championship. I'm with that too. I feel like they have the personnel to do it. One of the few teams that do. But I feel like if we end up losing in the Western Conference Finals, might not be mad at that. But we want to go to the finals. We want to go all the way to the NBA Finals and win that thing. So let's go Thunder. Moving on, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks, another one of my favorite players over here, Giannis. Doc Rivers, head coach, 20-16 right now, 6-4 out of their last 10 games. You know what I'm saying? They just won 3 straight. They're looking a lot better than they did at the beginning of the year, and people kind of counted them out. I still feel like their 1-2 punch is as good as anybody's. We'll run through this injury report real quick. Chris Middleton, the most important injury, sideline right now, day to day with those ankles. Not really sideline. He played in this game right here, but he is day to day with that. Gary Trent also day to day with a hip injury. Giannis day to day with a knee injury. Dame day to day with a calf injury. Still pretty good, healthy. They look like they're getting through it. I hope. I know for a fact that one of my favorite coaches, I feel like he knows how to manage, a long season for guys who are going to play high minutes and give heavy contributions. I know, they rely on Giannis and Dame a lot physically. That's taxing on Giannis a little bit. So I expect, health to be an issue sometimes, but I feel like they are still very much in their prime. They're right here in their basketball prime right now, these 2 guys. And it would be, it'd be hard to see them when they're not on the floor playing well. But they do got to make sure they manage that. Giannis also in the MVP talk. Looking real nice right now. 60% from the floor. 31.7 points per game. 11.9 rebounds. 6.1 assists. 0.8 steals. 1.5 blocks per game. And he's doing that on 3.5 turnovers. He's averaging more assists than I thought he would be. That's for sure. 6 is good for that guy. Even though he does handle the ball a lot and make a lot of good passes, his assist numbers are impressive. Only shooting 59% from the free throw line, but we can only hope for about 60, 62%, 65% on the highest. I'm sure he wants to shoot 100% from the free throw line because he wants to help his team. But he struggles. So, as he gets older, I'm sure he'll become a better free throw shooter still, but it's just one of those things he struggles at. He hits a little mid-range joint pretty good. He knocks down that mid-range jumper pretty good. Now, he's a lot better at it. He's knocking down more threes. But definitely got to work on those free throws. Dame Lillard. Like I said, they're a little bit stronger 1-2 punch. He's averaging 25 points a game, 24.9, 4.4 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and doing that on 2.1 2.7 turnovers per game. A little less than 3. That's a lot of scoring output when you add in Middleton and Brook Lopez. You know what I'm saying? That's almost 60 points. Yeah, that's 60 points, 15 rebounds before you even get to Chris Middleton. You know what I'm saying? Three-headed monster is kind of dead. You don't need 3 LeBrons out there. You know what I'm saying? You need 2 guys. You need 2 guys. And because of that, pretty much all these teams got 2 really solid guys. A lot of teams have 2 really solid guys. And then a third guy who's consistent, at least. I feel like this team goes as far as Chris Middleton can take them. Because he's the guy, he can be a third great guy. You know what I'm saying? Not just consistent. He can be a third all-star caliber player, which is what he is. And depending on how healthy he stays, depending on how well he plays, which he's playing great when he's out there. This year he's having a good year, but he's got to stay healthy. And more importantly, during playoff time, because they're going to be in the playoffs. Not so sure some of these other people are going to be in the playoffs, like the 76ers. Might have his playoffs this year, mark my words, we might have a playoffs where we don't see Joel Embiid this year. And if so, that's going to be drastically bad for the 76ers. Reason why I'm not talking about them very much in any videos is because I don't really see them. I don't see them making the playoffs. A lot of teams, I feel like, need one more guy. Real quick, Gary Trent, AJ Green are shooting lights out right now. Just real quick before I get into this next segment. Those 2 guys are unbelievably helping their ball club right now. Gary Trent, AJ Green, very, very solid for this team right now. But with that being said, I still feel like a lot of teams, not just them, need more than one more player to round out their roster, round out their bench, you know what I'm saying, to really feel like, okay, we can make a run. Now, if everybody keeps their roster like this, for the most part, I feel like it won't even matter. Everybody's going to be still pretty much even. The league is very, very even right now. There's a lot of parity in the league right now because you only have to have 2 superstars, 2 legitimate superstars. That means you can rotate that third superstar to another team, and it makes another team formidable. So, very interesting how this is going to look. There are 10 guys on the Milwaukee Bucks that shoot 35% or better from 3-point. 10. Celtics have 6. Let that sink in. These guys look really good right now. And people probably don't, have them looking like, oh, they're going to win a championship. Nah, these guys are strong. And, we're going to talk about more teams and how many guys they should have on their team that shoot 35%. The Bucks got 10. I do some more research. I'm going to see if anybody else got 10. But they got 10 right now. Defense is visibly improved. They were talking about these guys weren't going to be able to play no defense. Man, they're packing it in, they're mailing it in. It's like Giannis flipped the light switch and everybody said it's go time. They're playing defense. They're playing a lot better defense. And I feel like that's going to carry over. This looked like a Doc Rivers team. And now guess what? You got Doc Rivers with something that looks like Kevin Garnett. Something that looks like Paul Pierce. Rajon Rondo. You know what I'm saying? Ray Allen. It's looking a lot like that. It's looking a lot like that, with a little bit more offense. You know what I'm saying? And if these guys play defense like they've been playing, they're gonna be hard to stop. They're gonna be real hard to stop. Oklahoma City has 9 guys who shoot better than 35% from three. Lakers have 6. Lakers have 6. And we're going to talk about the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about the Lakers. The Cavs have 7 guys who shoot over 40% from the three-point line. And they have also 10 guys who can shoot 35% or better. So, there's one. I forgot. But I'm going to look and see if there's anybody else in the league. Maybe even on some of these teams that don't have as great a record. But, yeah. As good as the Celtics are from three, there's teams who shoot better. So this is another reason why I'm not 100% sold on them being the repeat champion and running away with this thing. But let's talk about the Lakers. We're gonna talk about the Lakers, and first I want to give a heartfelt best wishes and prayers to the people in Los Angeles dealing with these wildfires. They had to postpone a game on the 11th where they had to play San Antonio because of the wildfires, and people are out there losing their homes. I'm from Oklahoma. I definitely understand what the devastation can look like. We get tornadoes and things like that, and we deal with these type of events. Not comparing it, just saying that these things are very hard to deal with when people are losing their homes. So shout out to all the fans in the Los Angeles area and all the players who have family out there. Prayers and best wishes to you while y'all are trying to get that under control. I know that's a hard deal to deal with. We actually have wildfires out here too. You know, when it gets dry in the summer, when it gets dry in the wintertime, it happens. We go through these droughts, and somebody light a cigarette, throw it out the window. Next thing you know, half the countryside burned. So, prayers and best wishes to them. Let's talk about the basketball team now. JJ Redick. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of JJ Redick. I think that guys like him need to be coaching. I definitely agree with a lot of things he was saying on First Take before he got hired. I like JJ Redick. He's gonna have to get creative with this stuff. This is going to test his coaching acumen very early. It's going to test you because you got to deal with these guys, and not necessarily deal with LeBron. Just trying to make this team, because this team I feel like could be a championship team, even though they struggle on defense. I feel like they can still win a championship. LeBron helps that. AD helps that. And they got a couple of guys that would have to produce a little bit more. But they have a good team. And it's kind of built to win a championship. They match up well with a lot of guys, even though, like I said, guys are just going to have to play better than what they are a little bit. And maybe grow a little bit. Not necessarily just play out of their mind, just grow and get better. LeBron sets a high bar. The injury report right now looks like Anthony Davis day-to-day, LeBron James day-to-day with the foot. Christian Wood is out with a knee. Jared Vanderbilt is out with a foot injury. Jalen Hood-Schifino is out with a knee injury. Again, typical stuff. Gotta know how to manage load. Gotta know how to manage, manage these guys' injuries and just keep everybody healthy throughout the season. This is typical. They're not getting beat up by the injury bug, how they have in the past. So I expect them to maintain this. I feel like LeBron stepped out of the role where he's 1A. He is 2 on this team now. It's Anthony Davis is the focal point of the offense now. LeBron is the leader, but Anthony Davis is the focal point of the offense now, and we can't keep looking. Hey, LeBron, what's LeBron? Hey, LeBron. He's only going to give you 20 points until the playoffs. He's not going to give you 35 and just come out here and just, he's not going to, he might be saving that for after the All-Star break, but he's not finna be doing it. It's going to be on some of these guys got to figure out ways to score the basketball. Not talking about Austin Reeves, not talking about Dalton Knecht. Get back to them later. Gabe Vincent worries me a little bit. He's been injured, but I thought he was going to be better for them. I thought he was going to get more playing time. Max Christie is playing great. You know what I'm saying? I like Max Christie, but I thought they were going to get a little bit more from Gabe Vincent. He still might show up, be a little bit better. He still has time, but I definitely expected that last year. They had D'Angelo playing in front of them though, so I ain't worried about that. They actually did reinforce the lineup and get better. Solid 10 players. Scoring still is an issue with the role players in the second unit, and defense as well is an issue. But they're playing a lot better. They're 20-16. This is a solid record. I mean, they're not losing too many games. They're still above 500, and they're 6-4 in their last 10. You know what I'm saying? So they're above 500. They keeping it going. And I feel like they're gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna win right at this pace right here. In a playoff series, that can change though. It just depends. But they're gonna be solid enough to get themselves in a good spot in the playoffs. I don't know if they want Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler could help them. And I bring up Jimmy Butler. A lot of teams could use Jimmy Butler. Not everybody can get him because of the salary cap. I understand that. But Jimmy's one of my favorite players. I feel like he's he's gonna go somewhere and help out somebody greatly. I feel like it's gonna be difficult to see. I don't know where he's gonna go. I honestly thought they would have the trade probably worked out by today, but who knows when they're gonna get done with that thing. You know what I'm saying? I know he doesn't want to be in Miami anymore. I would think the Lakers might try to get him if they could. They might try to get him if they could, because he would bring a defensive presence where they sorely need it. I know he wants to score a little bit more. I don't know how that's going to work on this team, but they need buckets too, and he can provide that. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. LA might be already out of that just because they got AD and LeBron. I don't know if they can afford to pay him without, ridiculous penalties, or if they'll even let it go through. But they do have Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect, and they both playing great. Austin Reeves, 1.1 steals, 5.9 assists in 34 minutes a game, and he's shooting 36% from the three-point line, 43% from the field. He's playing well. Dalton Connect, 9 points off the bench, 35% from the three-point line, 21 minutes. And he's 6'6". I thought he was 6'9". Had no idea. But they're both playing well. They're both contributing on offense. I don't know how much more you can ask from them. I need more from Rui. I need more from Jackson Hayes. I need more from Max Christie. You know what I'm saying? I need more from these guys. JJ's going to have to get creative. And I feel like they're going to have a lot of matchup problems in the playoffs trying to make it work. But they're going to really have to be creative or make a trade. You know what I'm saying? They're not as strong on both ends of the floor as they probably should be if they think they're going to win a championship. Do I think it's possible? Yes. But what that looks like with moving parts, how do you make that become reality, is probably not with this exact roster that they got sitting in front of us right now. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to need some help. But we'll see. We'll see how much LeBron has left in the tank to contribute. And, you know, Anthony Davis looking like an all-star if his numbers go up. He could be an MVP candidate if he starts playing out of his mind. You know, he could very easily get into that talk with the numbers that he got right now. Now we're gonna talk about two teams. We're gonna talk about the Nuggets and the Mavericks, and I got lucky enough they actually played each other yesterday, so we're gonna look at that. Denver Nuggets. Former NBA champions. Mike Malone. 22-15. Again, very solid record. We're not looking at a team who's struggling, even though they've dealt with issues. They're not struggling. And largely in part because of that guy, he is ridiculous good. And they've been playing really well. I feel like they're not as deep as they want to be. I feel like they're not quite as deep as they had been when they won those championships. They need a couple more guys. And that's, like I said, across the board, all these really good teams, they all look like that a little bit. They all look like that. The Rockets have really good depth, but they don't have a lot of experience. Grizzlies, really good depth, not a lot of experience. Even the Thunder, not a whole lot of experience, but we got more than most, and we got more depth than most. So I look at these teams, and you know, some of the teams that have the most depth are not really a threat to win it, other than I feel like Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is probably the deepest team in the West. And, you know, the other two teams would be Houston and Memphis. And they're just not as experienced top to bottom. But Nuggets won 2 of their last 3. Jamal Murray's hurt day to day with a knee. He's out here playing now. Aaron Gordon came back, even though in this game, even though he was listed out for a calf injury for a while. He was questionable for yesterday, and he ended up playing. Jokic day to day with an illness. I think he's sick in this game right here. Deron Holmes, the second, is also out. Like I said, haven't dealt with a lot of injuries. It's just that their team is not very deep. So when guys get hurt, you struggle a little bit. But they're still good. They're still really good. And DeAndre Jordan coming out, putting in good solid minutes. Hopefully he can keep doing that and score in the playoffs and play great defense in the playoffs. Always good to have a guy, like I said, 7-foot shot blocker, 6'9", 7-foot shot blocker. Westbrook is a good addition. I like Westbrook on this team. Playing with Jokic, yeah. You're going to get great Westbrook. The type of Westbrook that can win a championship with you. They do need a couple other guys, though. They need some help. They have 11 guys who can play. And maybe that's a little bit generous, you know. I'm being with 11, but they got 11 guys who can play a little bit, and it feels like they're playing guys because they have to a little bit. But we'll see how they mature. A lot of these guys, they're all young guys. We'll see how they mature. I do want to see more from Christian Braun, even though he plays with his hair on fire in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy, he's got an unbelievable motor. He's everything you want. He's a little undersized, so he plays really, really hard. But we gotta have more scoring from him. Maybe do y'all want Jimmy Butler? I don't know. I don't know if y'all want Jimmy Butler or not. Right now, Jimmy Butler's played 22 games, 17 points per game. He's 35 years old. 17 points per game, 17.6, 5.5 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.4 blocks, and he has 1 turnover a game. I don't care who you are in the NBA. You can use Jimmy Butler. If you got room, it would not be bad. Now, I don't want you to trade your whole young group of young boys away for Jimmy Butler, like they did for KD. Phoenix is paying the price for that right now, because they got rid of a lot of them young boys, and now they stuck with KD and they stuck with Bradley Beal, and you gotta deal with that. You don't want to trade all your whole draft class away, your whole future, your youthful future away. But maybe they could use Jimmy Butler. I don't know. You know, talk about Dallas here in a second. I think they could use Jimmy Butler. He's not washed up. Russ is giving you 6 Man of the Year numbers. 12 points, 5.8 rebounds, 6.8 assists off the bench most nights. Sometimes he starts, but he's giving you that. I just feel like if he's got one more person on that second unit to really rely on himself, then he'll be better, and they'll be better. But Watson is not terrible. I like Watson. I wish he could shoot the 3 ball a little bit better, but he's a good defender and he puts in quality minutes. He's not going to hurt you at all. Watson is going to be a positive for you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens right there. I would talk about the Heat. I feel like after the Heat trade Jimmy, they're gonna be in a bad spot. The Hawks may overtake them. Hawks are moving in the right direction. Uh, they're playing better defense. They got Trey and they got Jalen Johnson. And, the other guys that they got out there working hard, like Clint Capella, they got better chemistry right now than the Heat do. And I don't know if the 76ers are going to make the playoffs. The reason I say all of that is to say, Mavericks may need Jimmy Butler. I don't know if the 76ers may be interested in trading Joel Embiid, parting ways with him. I don't know. Dallas could be a place where he end up going. You know what I'm saying? I could see that. Happening. Jason Kidd, one of my favorite coaches right now. They 22-16. 4 of their last 6, or 4-6 in their last 10 games. I don't know, but I can definitely tell you they've been doing this without Luka and Kyrie for. Kyrie played 30 games, but Luka only played 15, somewhere around there. No, Luka played 22 games, but they were both playing 35 minutes a game, and that was probably hurting. You know what I'm saying? That was probably hurting. If you're playing 35 minutes a game this early in the season, I can kind of understand it, and I'm on both sides of it. If you want them to be in shape for the playoffs, yes, you want guys to play more minutes during the regular season, so when you get to be playoff time, you feel rested. That's a thing. If you play a lot of minutes in the regular season and your body can handle it, you'll be in shape for the playoffs, and those games come in the way they come. You'll feel rested because you're used to playing a lot of minutes. You don't want to try to play 28 minutes a game and then try to play 35 or 40 in the playoffs. That's not going to work. So I understand the philosophy about why they kind of wanted to do it, but you don't want to overwork your stars either. And no offense, Luka, but you a little squishy, man. You gotta get in better shape. Calf strain. That means you need to be in better shape. That's all it means. Kyrie got a bulging disc in his back. Me too. I've been there. Definitely been there. Personally. Not fun. Can't stand, can't jump. Sitting down is hard. You know what I'm saying? Not a fun injury to have. Especially for a guy who's as fluid and shifty as he is. So he's not at his best. He was probably playing with that too. Those 30 games. Dante Exum is also injured. You know what I'm saying? But being 5th in the West right now, and you got all 3 of them guys injured, because Dante Exum is a big part of their defensive scheme. He puts a lot of pressure on the ball. That's commendable, Jason Kidd. That's commendable. You got these guys still playing good basketball. You know what I'm saying? Spencer Dinwiddie is an elite offensive player, period. If you think you can guard Spencer Dinwiddie, I got a bridge in Oakland and a bridge in Brooklyn that I will sell to you shortly after I finish making this video. Just hit me right there in the comments and let me know. I will sell you that bridge. But you cannot guard Spencer Dinwiddie. He got videos on YouTube to prove it. But Najee Marshall, another bright spot. 10 points, 3.5 rebounds a game. Not bad. But these guys are reasons why. Yeah, you gotta poke them in the eye. That's the only way you're gonna stop them. But yeah, these are reasons why the team is still staying solid. They have the same record as the Nuggets. They have the same record, and they're both dealing with injuries to some of their more important players. Jamal Murray started the year out. I think he was sidelined early in the season. Um, Quentin Grimes also coming off the bench for the Mavericks, 10 points, 4 rebounds a game. The roster looks thin, but Clay is fitting. I'm glad about that. I knew they would have less depth, but it's not so bad. And Clay is looking like he this is where he belongs. This is where he want to be at. This is where he belongs. He's playing well. You just have to think that, hey, when it comes down to clutch, there's only 2 guys that I really look at. Well, let me just say, I'll say 4. 4 guys in the NBA that I look at when it comes to crunch time. Nope. I'm going to say 5. 5. I'm going to stop right there. 5 guys you ain't got to think about when it comes to the crunch time. Okay? Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, who else? Trey Young, and somebody else I was thinking of and it escaped me. But that's all right. Those 4 is good enough. Klay, Steph, Trey, and Jalen Brunson. I'm not worried about them teams when it comes to crunch time. I'm not worried about guys with those guys on their team or teams with those guys on it. I'm not worried about them in crunch time. Not worried about it at all. As long as you know you got guys like that and then you pair him with Luka, I could say Luka too, but there was another guy I was thinking of, and I can't think of who it was now. Oh, it'll come to me. But when you got those guys on a team, on your roster, clutch is not an issue. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a guy who we can pass the ball to at the end of the game when we need a bucket. Gafford playing real big, always does. Derek Lively. But like I said, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. When it shakes out, you got this guy right here. You got to deal with him and everybody else on the team. It's a problem. He's good enough to keep them afloat while they're missing guys. With Clay shooting, they're good enough. They're good enough. They got good young big men. You know what I'm saying? Good wing players. They're good. Let's see if they can put together that defensive performance that they did last year. That was something to see because they did play some great defense, and they weren't playing that all year, but they started playing great defense at the right time. So we'll see. I like P.J. Washington on defense. I like Derek Lively. I like Gafford. I thought Oklahoma City was going to get Gafford last year. I was a little upset we didn't, but we got Isaiah Hartenstein and we got Chet, so I can't be too upset right now. You know what I'm saying? But let's move on. We're going to talk about the Warriors. As much as I could criticize these guys, I still feel like they have a subtle chance to win the championship. Some people might not think so, but again, Steph Curry. I don't need you to be an MVP candidate to feel like you can win a championship. And I don't think they have one on their team. And I feel like, let me be clear, I don't feel like Dallas will probably be able to do what they did last year because of effectually, that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to bring Kyrie and Luka back. Similar to how this happened last year. Not on purpose, just similar to how it happened. They're going to come back right around the All-Star break after going a gangbuster run, and it's going to carry over into the playoffs. I don't know if that's going to happen. I do feel like Golden State is still Golden State underneath all of the problems and the things that they have to deal with as far as age and new guys and getting new guys to step into new roles. Buddy Hield was a big help to not replace Klay. I don't want to offend any Golden State Warriors fans. I know y'all did not replace Klay Thompson with Buddy Hield. I know that. I'm a little bit smarter than that. I appreciate people who understand. I'm not saying that. Buddy Hield, though, has been a big help. Because I've been telling people for years, I watched him at OU. He's not a spot-up shooter. He don't stand in the corner. That guy's a first option. If he's in good enough shape, he can be a first option. He can be offense. Now, does he play great defense? Not necessarily, but again, we play team defense at Golden State. I know it. I know how to get down. You know what I'm saying? But you got Buddy Hield and a guy like Andrew Wiggins. You should be able to balance that out a little bit. Their injury report looks like Draymond Green day-to-day with a back injury, Steph Curry day-to-day with a knee injury, Andrew Wiggins day-to-day personal issues, Brandon Bogzimski out with ab injury, Gary Payton II out with a calf injury, Jonathan Kuminga out with an ankle injury. Look at the injury report. These guys haven't been all together, and they really haven't been all together all year like that. It's always one or two guys. Now, I feel like they have the worst record out of all these teams too, by the way. 19-19, and they are 4-6 in their last 10 games. But I still feel like they're the Golden State Warriors. I don't know why. They add Schroeder. I don't know why they just feel like they can still do this. Trayce Jackson-Davis, great addition, great undrafted player. Watched him at Indiana, knew he was going to be solid, man. Knew he was going to be doing everything he's doing for them. But because of these reasons, they have this weird mix of old players and a bunch of young players. I mean, you got Draymond and Steph, and then you got Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield and a couple of other guys. Buddy Hield's 30, but they got young guys everywhere. Podzimski, Trayce Jackson-Davis, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Schroeder and Aaron Wiggins. It's like you can't be mad at this balance that they got going on right here. And it seems like it's good team chemistry. They look like they're playing together. They understand what they're kind of trying to do. And I put a lot of that on Steve Kerr and a little bit on guys like Draymond, who've been there, who pushed the defense, and then Steph, who's gonna demand greatness too. It's like these guys are the team. And you got to answer to, a lot like how the Spurs go. You hold each other accountable. I'm not finna yell at you in practice. Pop says, I ain't gonna yell at y'all. You got a problem with that guy? Tell him. I like it because it eliminates all of the nonsense. You don't have to act like it's coach picking on you. We're telling you didn't get there. You know what I'm saying? So, I still like the Warriors, man. I still feel like even without an MVP candidate, they can possibly win a chip this year. They got enough defense, enough youth, and enough experience. They still a little bit shorter than I would want them to be. Get one good 7-footer in there. I mean, everybody's got two in the West. Everybody can hit you with a real power forward and a real center. Not a lot of height, but just, position wise. Everybody can do that. Everybody's not small ball. Y'all, they go small ball to try to, hurt people, but I don't know. In the playoffs, will that be good enough? Will they be able to outrun people? We'll have to see. I'm looking at Miami. Like I said again, Miami would be one of these teams on this list that we're talking about today, but I feel like after they make this trade, they will not be one of those teams. If they think they're going to rely on Tyler Hero, no offense to Tyler Hero, but I need a little bit more than that. Bam is becoming a better scorer. Bam is getting better, but I don't see. They're going to need help in the future. They're going to need to pick up some guys, work through the draft. I don't think that they're. I think they could be a playoff team without Jimmy Butler with the same exact squad. I think they could make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year though. But I feel like Golden State can do it. OKC, Minnesota, LA, Denver, and Dallas all match up well with them. So they got a lot to deal with. I just don't. I think it'll have to be a perfect storm for them to get that done, but I feel like they have a chance. I feel like they have a chance just because you got guys like Steph. You got guys like Draymond who can guard anything. You gotta watch them because they'll beat you, and then you'll be wondering how it happened. That's how I look at it. I do think, like I said, they don't have an MVP candidate. I think that the Lakers could possibly have an MVP candidate. Thunder, Celtics, Cavs, Bucks, Nuggets. I feel like those are my teams that I feel like could win a championship right now. I think they all have at least one MVP candidate on their team. I think Golden State fits in that category, but they don't have an MVP candidate. And, you might say the Cavs, oh, well, Donovan Mitchell ain't playing well enough. If he plays a little bit more, and he will, because he's only playing like 31 minutes a game right now. If they start playing him more, he's going to be an MVP candidate, because he's going to score more. Anthony Davis, he's playing 34 minutes right now, shooting 31% from from 3-point line, 78% from the free throw line. If he starts playing better, goes on a tear where he starts scoring a bunch of points, he'll be in the top. He's already averaging 25.8 a game, 11.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.3 steals, 2.1 blocks on 2 turnovers a game. He'll be in the top if he starts scoring a little bit. Donovan Mitchell will be in the top. I thought the Pacers were not going to be a threat, and then they went and knocked off the Cleveland Cavaliers last night and said, hey, your streak is over. little surprised. A little surprised. But I still don't think they're a threat to win the championship. I think they are a big threat in the playoffs. I think they're going to give people problems in the playoffs because they're very similar. They're a much younger version of what I think Golden State is. They got a lot more youth, and they play hard all the time. Try to play that small ball. They got Miles Turner. They got Siakam, but they play kind of small. So I just feel like they're a threat to knock off some teams who can play, but I don't think that they're gonna win a championship. I don't think they're a real threat to win a championship. Magic at 5, Rockets at 2. Not really a threat to win a championship, even though they're the number 2 seed. The Rockets, Magic, I don't see y'all getting through everybody. I don't. But who knows how it's gonna shake out? Grizzlies and Clippers. I don't think they're capable of doing it this year. I feel like maybe the Clippers because of Kawhi, but we'll have to see about Memphis. We'll have to see. Are y'all gonna keep this up? Keep this consistency up? You know what I'm saying? Suns are not done. I don't think the Suns are out of the playoff race, but they might need to get Jimmy Butler. I'm gonna keep saying his name. Jimmy Butler. He gonna show up. I promise. Cause he gonna show up. He's that dude, man. And he's not washed up yet. He's not nowhere near anybody's version of washed up. So somebody go out there and get Jimmy Butler, man. Take him to a team where he can play and show and shine. Do what he want to do. Do what he got to do. Do what he's supposed to do. Do what he's been doing. I just think maybe in Miami they feel like they want to part ways with him, but I know he's got basketball left. Another one of my favorite players. Shout out to Jimmy Butler, man. I can't wait to see where he end up landing. Like I said though, I still feel like everybody's pretty much even as far as personnel and depth. A lot of teams with question marks in depth and personnel. But again, as the coaches, they may look at it like, hey, we want to see these guys get better. We're expecting this, we're expecting that. You don't know what they're expecting. So we got to see how it's going to shake out. But I'm very interested to see what the playoffs look like. Very interested to see after the All-Star break all those games. And going into the All-Star break. It's rivalry week right now. And we're going to see teams playing teams that are also good competition. Not going to see no busted games. You know what I'm saying? Here pretty soon. You're going to see some pretty good basketball. You know what I'm saying? Pretty evenly matched basketball. There's parity in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for sports betting, but it's good for if you're just a casual fan and you just watching, because you don't know who's going to win. Hard to tell, hard to see, hard to foresee who's going to just take a game or not take a game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of parity in the league, and this is what I like to see. I like to see the competition, you know, so you can see guys really have to play against a team that's just as good as they are. You don't want to see guys run up and score 40, 30 points a night. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's it for me. I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all listening. Make sure y'all drop some comments, man. Give me some feedback. Let me know if y'all feel the same way about these teams as I do. Let me know if y'all think I'm wrong. Let me know if y'all think some teams need different personnel. Some teams might make a move. Who you think's gonna make a move? Who you think's gonna get Jimmy Butler? Let me know. You know, put it in the comments, man. Let me know. I'm here for your feedback. That's it for me. I am awake.